What's good? So this is your boy Elton Anderson Jr., aka Detroit Chopra, and we're back with another episode. I'm really cranking these things out lately. I'm just gonna give you when it's an episode on my heart. I said, here y'all go. And today's episode, I this was one of the episodes I think was manifested from the universe. Like this is a universe. The universe created this episode. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my guest. It has a lot to do with mushrooms and what mushrooms do with and for the universe. So yeah, this episode is going to go really deep. It's going to be a lot of higher self. I want to introduce you all to my higher self. I've been letting him peek through, and Detroit Chopra is oftentimes, kind of like the Sasha Fierce to my Beyonce. If we're talking conscious wise and spiritual wise, it's definitely my alter ego. But today, I think I want to let them merge, and I think this is the perfect person and the perfect guest to do that with. So without further ado, I want to introduce today's guest. His name is Oniel. Oniel, what's your last name? Hold on.
So it's pronounced roll, but that's not my government last name.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, this is this is my good friend O'Neill, who I just met. What, 2 months ago? February?
Yeah, January, I think. Oh, well, yeah.
February. Yeah, we just
Uh-huh.
we haven't even met physically, but we've met on so many other levels before this, and we started to FaceTime, and now we FaceTime every single day. So yes, so all this lead up, let's just get into it. What are we talking about today, O'Neill? What are we talking to the people about? Let's
Lord, what are we talking about? How do I even introduce this beautiful, beautiful sacred plant that I love working with? So today we're going to be talking about psilocybin mushrooms, how it impacted our lives, even how we met through them, how
bruh.
they called us, and just getting into the facts about, how it's helped people and just the nature of how people use them, at
Yeah,
least in
because
America.
honestly, mushrooms have a bad rap. I know for me. So, fun fact: I did not try any drug until I was 35 years old. Currently 39.
Mm,
So I didn't try like weed. I didn't try uh, ecstasy. What's some other drugs? I'm still never gonna try coke and all that,
yeah, I don't know.
or heroin and meth. Like I'm not going down that road. Personally,
Mhm.
not judging anybody.
Right.
However, I tried my first like edible at 35, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute. this is this is nice." And I've
Mhm.
always had my parents ingrained in me that every drug was crack. Like every my mom is Liberian, and she was like, every drug you go get is gonna be crack. So I just stayed away from them. And it wasn't until last year that I tried uh mushrooms and psilocybin and did all that. And that's the only reason why we're here on this podcast today, honestly. That's the only reason that Detroit Chopra is born. Mushrooms are the best thing that I have ever experienced in my entire life. And I'm
Mhm.
going to break down why I'm saying that, because it's so much bigger than you take a trip on a drug and and you go from there. Mushrooms are actually medicine. They're not drugs. I don't consider them drugs. I don't consider them
Mhm.
uh, anything you can get addicted to. I consider them
Yeah.
medicine that helps you heal and helps introduce you to your higher self. And that is
Yeah.
what I am on for the rest of my life, is me and my higher self out here doing higher self things. We kicking it. We meeting
Yes, King.
people. We attracting the people. We're attracting our tribe. Like mushrooms just
Mhm.
help me attract my tribe. So yeah, that's my love letter to mushrooms. But it's gonna be a whole episode of a love letter to shrooms, and we're just gonna go from there. But yeah, O'Neill. So tell us about yourself, because I know you're just an amazing person, man. This guy is 22 years old. That's
Mhm.
first of all, he's a toddler. He can be my son, and he is just has this knowing. that I have never seen in anybody. Like, dude, you just get it. You tapped in, bro. So
Mhm.
tell us what you want the people to know. Like, what you want us to know about you, man.
Yes. So my work is heart and soul medicine, and that was really born just through, like you said, my intuitive knowing since I was 15. That's when I started my healing journey. Just recognizing the patterns in my brain and depression, and just being hyper aware of the scenario of like the school system being all flawed. And I'm just looking around like an alien, like, okay, so I know this, but I'm still a teenager, like I'm still a boy navigating this system. So I'm gonna have to just work through this system. Eventually just following all the breadcrumbs. And I know for a fact that I've been to this planet many, many, many times. Like this is light work at this point.
O'Neal,
This is like,
I'm laughing because I'm like, I'm just imagine like 11-year-old you like, okay, I gotta play along with these games. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to school. Fine. We're gonna
you want
have to
a report
stay.
card? Here,
All
mother.
all
Here's my
right.
report.
I already know what this universe is talking about. But I want that
Mhm.
to be I have this other theory. I got a lot of theories in life. And I definitely believe in people have been here before. Like I definitely believe in that. And I believe in old souls. And a lot of old souls. I've met so many old souls lately, like kids that are like 6 years old, 17 years old, 20 and 22 years old that just get it. Y'all just your generation and the generation after you, you guys just get it in a way that we don't understand. Like, let's speak to that. Like, how did
Mhm.
you because you're not alone. I've met not a lot,
No,
but I met a couple other old souls. How does it feel to be an old soul, man?
it feels like I've been called here for a very specific mission, and I'm about that action. Like that's what it feels like.
Y'all go get this
Every
work. Y'all go get this work. Y'all go get these vibes. Y'all go get this energy.
you're gonna get these miracles, you're gonna get these blessings, and I got your back. That's what it feels like. It feels like you came down with a team of angel guys, and they was like, yo, we about to change this whole landscape. And I was like, oh, bet. I too would like to change the landscape.
Cause
Let's
you
do it.
yeah, because you offer energy readings, right?
Yes. And at this point, I don't even know what to call them because we be going to work. Like, I'm not going to tell all her business, but me and this beautiful woman were just talking about the levels and dimensions of not just time, because an energy reading to me is not is it's like not just seeing into someone's future, but it's tapping into their needs and their energetic desires and the levels of connectivity they have with their body. Like it's an intimate experience that I'm grateful that people even, want to share that with me and have that time with me. But it goes deep. And when you're ready to like open your mind and your heart and your soul to change, you'll be surprised how fast it can happen. So my energy readings are like, we be
They
working.
give they give life. I mean, I think from our first conversation, because I can't wait to tell y'all how me and O'Neal met. It is the most insane. So you do not
Mm-hmm.
want to you want to listen to this whole episode all the way through because the way that me and him met is insane.
Yo.
Um, but I do want to take this first part to talk about this old soul phenomenon in this energy reading because
Mm,
honestly, 2019, I was not into none of this. I was not into
mm,
meditation. I was not into energy consciousness. There was nothing that held me to this to the real to reality to the outside of the matrix. I was knee deep in
mhm.
the matrix. I was like, yo, I love it here. It's good. I'm excelling in it because I was able to benefit from it. And I went to college and then excelled in high school.
You
And
did your human.
I continued to use my ambition and my success to define me. Those were the definitions of Elton, right?
Mm,
And it wasn't until I was filming an episode of my travel show called Lens of Culture, and it was 2019. It was April 2019. It was actually wait. It low key is the anniversary of the wait, because it's April 7th. Yo, this is low key the anniversary. It's like the 7th or the 8th. It's low key the anniversary of when I had the first moment. This is all the stuff that happens with Oniel. Like every time,
and I'm
it's
always
always some foolishness. But
I'm always
pretty much 2 years ago, almost to the date, I'm going to say to the date, was when I realized, I said, yo, I don't know who I am. It was like the camera came on and we were on the Tom Joyner morning cruise, and we were filming an episode there. And as soon as the camera came on, I said, I have no idea who I am. This is all a lie. Like everything in my life was a lie. And so from there, that's when the crumble started. I started giving away all my clothes, and it wasn't immediately, but it was like by August, I was gone. By August 2019, I was out of here. So it took like 5-6 months. But yeah, just being exposed to who I truly am. But in your perspective, you always knew who you are. You always knew who you were, and it never needed to be explained to you. It never needed to be revealed to you. You just knew. What is that? How you be knowing?
You know what? Now that we talk about it in this particular moment, identity is something that I struggle with a lot, because I knew who I was on the cosmic level and all that stuff is cool. But it's like, I got to know Oniel. Like, what does Oniel like to do? Like, who am I? Like, how do I like to navigate this planet? Like, I'm here. Like, I love being here. I'm not just I'm in this body. You feel me? I'm here. Like, we gonna do it. So with that, it's like, I struggled with understanding who I was in a human sense. So I knew who I was, but it was like, but how do I want to express myself? And when those things came together and I understood that my personality is just my expression of self, and my thoughts are a part of my personality, the reality that I see that is personal to me. And I was like, okay, then I'm totally malleable to my soul. Then I'm going to be whoever I want to be. And it doesn't matter who I was or how I've been. I'm literally me. I'm always me. Like, that's the thing with authenticity. It's like, you're always you. You're never not you. You might fool yourself into thinking you're not you, or your soul kind of wants to play that game of like self-discovery and, the search for who you are. And it's fun. That's why we're here. But at the same time, you're always you. So you can't lose yourself.
I think we're 10, 15 minutes in, and I'm already having my first epiphany, because that's what it is. It is the you that is always there. And then we put all of these layers and masks and suits and walls. We build all these things around who we really are. And going back to self is the removal of those things. Sometimes people put on bulletproof spacesuits that are impenetrable to hide who they really are. And that's what I did. Like, I was just hiding who I really, really was. And every episode that I do, every YouTube video I make, every time I write something, I'm releasing who I truly am. And it's just really remarkable to meet somebody who already knows who they are. That is because who I am wasn't my type. It's not what I do. I was a photographer. I hosted a travel show, and I used to live in that. That defined me. And the more that I let go, it's hard though. It's so hard to change. I look that you are so lucky because you are in this world as yourself immediately. And you don't have to you don't have to go through getting student loan debt and 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 credit card debt and mortgage debt and all that to figure out who you want to be. You can kind of, you're young enough to do it, and you'll be 23 next week, next Monday.
Well, where my Aries at? Nah, but
Aries,
Yeah.
y'all magical, bro. I swear.
When we tap into our power, and it's funny you talked about like just me being this age, and that's something that's really hit me. Like my adulthood is hitting me because I've always known since I was young that I would come into my adulthood like knowing myself. Like I would know how the reality works. I might not know everything or how things would plan out. I don't want to know that now. But I had a framework of like, oh, I'm gonna be mentally good. I'm gonna be good to like navigate this experience. Like that. That's why I'm here. Like I came here to experience, and now we starting to channel. By the way, like we
Yeah.
just channeling self energy back.
Yeah, because I'm not even thinking now. Like, yo, I'm not even like thinking as I talk. I'm just whatever words are coming out, that's what's happening. I'm flowing.
Yes, literally. Like I completely knew and understood and agreed to coming here for pleasure, for fun, and for learning through joy and love. I didn't come here for the BS. I didn't come here for the pain. I had my share of pain because I needed to wake up in certain areas. But now that I'm conscious and I'm here, I'm writing a story. I'm the head of this storyboard. Like,
Oh.
who gonna check me? That's how I feel right now.
Oh,
Like,
these are bars. Me and O'Neal, me, me and O'Neal, we both share, our quotes, our thoughts, our channeled words on our respective platforms. And I promise you, like, we'll be like bars. Like, if you say something that's good, it's like you spitting bars if you don't get the reference. It's what rappers do. They spit bars.
yeah.
And so if that's the reference we were talking about, yo, that's a bar.
Mhm.
And another thing is like I'm literally having so many epiphanies right now, bro, just from your words. So I'm not gonna talk about them. I'm gonna try to keep moving the episode forward because I could talk about the epiphanies I'm having, and it'll be another 20 minutes. So respectfully, I'm moving it forward. So yeah, this episode we're gonna talk about the shroomy dooms. We're gonna talk about the psilocybin.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk about the the thing that I was so scared to try. Somebody had told me, I think I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago was when I first heard of shrooms and people were doing it. I'm like, get that away from me, get that crack, get that crack away from me, get away from me, Beelzebub with that. And it was so I had to go on my own search for knowledge of it. And
Mm.
um I had tried them before. I had tried them a little bit in, I would say 2019, but I really, really tried them in 2020
Mm.
and really, really tried them in 2021. So we'll get to that. But no, my first experience with shrooms, um, it was like a calling to do it. It was like your call to do it. Like you hear about shrooms and then you get scared, right? And then after you get past the fear, then it's an interest. And then after the
Mhm.
interest, it's like, okay, I think it can do something. It can heal whatever I have to heal or whatever I need to get past or this higher self that I need to meet. These shrooms are gonna be the vehicle to allow me to do it. And
You spit right now.
oh, okay. I know it. See, I'm talking. And it wasn't until last year that I was like, let me slip into this vehicle. Let me get into this this Uber shroom vehicle and see. But yeah, and so for me, it it helped heal so much because as I've gone on this journey of raising my consciousness and getting a direct connection to my higher self, I feel like we try to do it through meditation, we try to do it through other forms, and mushrooms are like the cheat code. They just put you right there. It's like boom, higher self, boom.
Mhm.
And I've been able to guide people, just like your energy healer and reader. I've
Mhm.
I'm in some respects a shroom shaman now. Um, to the point where I've been able to guide over at this point over 30 people on their first mushroom trip. And
Wow.
what I've seen people cry and go into the fetal position and release.
Mhm.
I've seen people laugh for 30 minutes straight. I've seen people free themselves. I've seen people begin to cure their depression, their anxiety, their
Mhm.
pain, their traumas. I've seen all those released, and every time it's just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, uh, ever. And with shrooms, they pretty much the science behind it is it's the active ingredient is the psilocybin, right?
Mhm.
And through the psilocybin, it actually connects to our serotonin receptors. So basically, your serotonin receptors are, where you get all the feelings of joy, the bliss, the stuff that makes us happy, and
Mhm.
it's our happy place. And what psilocybin does, what the active ingredient in mushroom does, is it it affects all of your serotonin receptors. So then, on a scientific level, you are able. It mixes them up. So there's some instances where I have like seen, I mean, felt colors. Like I can feel the color of orange or something like that, or
Mhm.
I can like see emotions, and
Mhm.
music is different, and nature is what it's really is. Like nature is a design, nature is a symphony.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
everything matters in nature. Like
Mhm.
everything from the cockroaches, even the mosquitoes that you hate that bite you. Mosquitoes, if all the mosquitoes left the earth wouldn't be able to exist.
Nope.
If all the cockroaches left the earth wouldn't. If all the rats left NYC would be a wrap. Like I don't know
Mhm.
what would happen, but you know what I'm saying. Like you realize that this reality, this earth, is a beautiful symphony where everybody is important. Like these mosquitoes are literally just as important as your paycheck. every every 2 weeks. I knew he was gonna laugh at that. So yeah, what do you know about the scientific
Uh,
scientific part of shrooms, O'Neal? Talk to me about it. Your knowledge of it.
so, interestingly enough, part of first of all, I have deep reverence and respect for Mother Nature. I'm a proud protector of my sacred mother. That's just what it is. If I see trash on the street, I don't care who looking, what's going on. I'm cleaning up the street because I don't play that when it comes to nature. Because you just see how industrialized we are here. There's so much. We could do that, but that's not what you
Yeah,
asked me.
we're not. We have to stay. We got to stay on top. Boom.
So as far as so it's interesting because I was actually called to the shrooms basically through
Allegedly. We gotta we gotta remember
allegedly,
everything is alleged, guys. This whole episode is allegedly. We allegedly
allegedly,
have tried
man,
shrooms, and we
because
allegedly may be
right, I'm feeling something right now, allegedly.
we allegedly may be on shrooms now, but that's all alleged.
Yes. So anyway, so called to the shrooms telepathically. If we're gonna keep it a buck 50. I was trying to figure out how do I say that to these people, but I'm just gonna come out with it.
No, it's yeah.
I came out, like I literally they called me. They were like, "It's time to get to work," and I was like, "Bet it is time," because the thing about shrooms is that I grew to a certain point in my life, and things just started calling me forward. Like that's how we met. I was at a certain point in my life, and I was like, I need something. I need somebody a little bit stronger in their vibration, like because my joy, my happiness, like I laugh a lot. Like if you haven't noticed, I laugh a lot
Oh,
because
you're a jokester. You
life
Jeff
is
Cummings,
so
Jeff
funny
Cummings
to
song.
me. Like, it's so funny. So I was researching about depression, like because I felt like I was healed, but I felt like I had remnants of like depressive tendencies and
just emotions in my body. And I was like, how do I like get that little bit? For all my people out there, you know you're healing when like you start to feel good and you wake up one day and you're like, oh, like I don't even have to try. This feels good. And then there's those moments where it's like that emotion, you can't quite name it, but it's a specific feeling. And I was like, that MF, he gotta go.
No, I call it the spirit. Like if you listen to my other episode called Spiritual Flaws, I talk about it. I talk about it's like that kernel of popcorn that's in the back of your freaking that last tooth, and you try to use your little straw, like you at the movie theater, and you trying to use your straw to get it out. You trying to get that last little thing out, and that last little kernel of depression, anxiety, pain, whatever it is, that's the one that gets on your nerves because you're like, oh, get it out.
So they were saying that people basically were healing using shrooms, like they were seeing results, like not just after big trips, but like over years, like after having not even used them before. Like there's so many freaking studies out there. And it's just, I just felt so called to them that I was like, it's time. Like I always knew I wanted to try it because I'm a little bit risky, you know, you feel me? So I'm like, let's get a little risky out here. But at that point, it was just, the healing is so deep that it's like, it almost leaves me speechless. Like I'm trying to describe it to you, and I'm trying to describe like.
You're not describing it to me because I get it, but I know you're trying to describe it to the audience that's listening.
It's a deep, deep healing that goes beyond this physical plane. And it showed me that plants are conscious. Like that's where a lot of my respect for plants come in. It's like they're so conscious, and they're my teachers. Like I look to them like, guide me today. Like it's just beautiful. I hope I answered your question. You know, I'm very hippy dippy.
It really is. No, I can feel it. I can feel the answer. Because
like I the answer vibration.
Like, bro, like that's the problem because we spend so much time looking for the answers outside of us, right? And what mushrooms do is they allow you to realize the answer is always inside you. If we can narrow everything you just said and everything I'm saying, the answer to everything, the answer of healing your depression or your anxiety or healing from a breakup or healing childhood trauma, all those answers are inside of you. And when you go on your mushroom trip, when you use mushrooms to help you and you have to set an intention. Every time we do a mushroom trip, we set this intention, like what needs to come out. And the beautiful thing, I've taken people as old as like 65 years old on their first mushroom trip. I've taken single mothers and CEOs and people that are just starting out all on their shroom trips, and it's just it's my favorite thing. So I was shocked that I was called to be a shroom shaman. I was like, what the who? I was like, I just started it, but it just feels so natural to me, and it's like such an expression of it's the vehicle. Like if I could have a magic school bus. You ever watch that show?
I did.
With Miss Frizzle. I never watched. I was too old for it, but I feel like I'm Miss Frizzle. I'm like, come on, y'all, let's all go. Let's all get on this magic school bus. Oh, speaking of cartoons, I feel like there's a lot of things that I promise you the creators were on shrooms. Like for instance, number one, Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers, whoever invented Super Mario Brothers was on some motherfucking shrooms because let me tell you. Let me tell you, they literally have mushrooms in there. So when you get a mushroom and you eat the mushroom, you literally become Super Mario. And you go through them tunnels, you go and beat up everybody, beat up the Goombas and mushrooms literally. I wish I could see Oniel's face. Mushrooms literally give Super Mario. I'm 6 years old playing Super Mario Brothers, and I'm like, wait, This man is on a mushroom trip, teaching me how to be. He's teaching you how to live life on a mushroom trip. O'Neal can't take this.
No,
But
but
guys, this is
really.
what I try to tell you. Another thing that was on mushrooms, I'm telling you, the creators on mushrooms was Smurfs. Look at Smurfs. Like these people
Oh,
are living in these they live in mushrooms. You know, all the Smurfs lived in mushrooms, right?
why is this so true? That's why I'm really cracking up.
That's why you're cracking up because you get it. Papa Smurf, Sassette, Jokey Smurf, whoever, Courage Smurf, all them people, all the Smurfs, I think, are like different emotions and different. Think about it. All the Smurfs are different emotions, and when you pop a shroom, you become jokey. You become sassy. You could turn into your inner Smurfette. Like I'm telling you, bro, the people, the creator, shrooms have been pivotal in all of our lives, especially our childhoods, and we just didn't know it. Anyway, my rant on that is okay. We're keeping this going. So I want to get into how we met.
Mm,
This is the tea. This is where
it's
tea is.
much to that story, yo. Like literally, as first of all, we just have to address this real quick. Every time we talk, it's like my higher self literally be like,
Yeah.
come forward. And I be cracking up like, I don't care about nothing. And my
It's
higher self, okay, I have a message that I need you to get through. So step through and get this together and we gonna share this message. And I think that's beautiful because to have somebody, first of all, to know that you're the sovereign being of light in your own life is one thing.
here come the bars. Here come the bars.
Two, to know that somebody else can match your energy, not because they're trying to be like you or they're trying to flow with you. And somebody that's just out there, just living their life.
Mhm.
And it just so happens, air quotes, it just so happens that this person is so much like you in a way that is a higher expression though. Because there's people that are just like us and they trifling. And they just like us in a way that's like, I'm not even trying to resonate with you there anymore. And it's okay. We all have that. But somebody that's resonating with the good, you know, how do I say this? Because there's no part of you that's bad, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like the part of you that you wanna, you're growing and that's blooming you, the part of you that your soul knows,
Yeah.
that part of you, and to resonate with that part of you and somebody else, it's magical and it's top 10. It's
It,
top 10.
it's not even top 10. It is the whole purpose of
It's
it. I was
the,
talking to I get, man, it's just crazy. I get what you're saying. Like the whole, you really just, your tribe finds you. It's just so
yeah.
insane how it happens. It's like the more that we continue to share on our respective platforms, the more
Mhm.
people that just like, oh, yo, I've been looking for that. I'm looking for that. I was wanting that. And for so much of my life, especially my creative life, I always would put the camera in front of me. I would always take my work, right?
Mhm.
I would take my work. So this is a picture I took. You guys can judge that. You can love the art that I create. You can love the content that I create. I didn't want anybody to love me because I didn't love myself. I didn't want I didn't want
Yeah.
because I didn't even know if I don't know how to love myself, I don't what I'm gonna do with your love. So yeah, oh, I love your pictures, cool. But then when people started saying, oh, I just love you, I love your words. One girl wrote me a message today and was like, you have the perfect voice for podcasting.
Mm.
I never thought that. I never felt like my voice was anything. And her saying that, I'm just like, here we go. Here goes the
Mm.
messages. Here goes the confirmations that you need. Cause it's not validation anymore. It's not like, oh, I need to be validated. It's like, thank you, because it's not
Mm.
it's not
Thank you for
necessarily my
seeing
voice.
through.
Yeah, it's not me judging my voice anymore. It's more so I'm giving you what I know that you need. Like I know that these words that I say are what you need, and then that's my service. That's my service to you because I don't. I'm not using these to make money. I'm not using these conversations to make money, but I know that the exchange of value and the exchange of energy is going to lead to energetically money being attracted to me. That's how
Mhm.
you create value and that's how you create brands. But one of my
Right. We talk about all that.
yeah,
That's a whole.
it's so much. But my homeboy said, and I meant to tell you this. I was talking to
Mhm.
a buddy from college. Ain't taught this man in 15 years. It's like this is crazy. Haven't I talked to this man? His name is Courtney. Haven't I talked to him in 15 years? We had the best, deepest conversation yesterday, and he was saying that on his journey that I love guys with female names. By the way, like I love like Courtney
Oh,
and Ashley and and Sasha. Like I like when guys have like female-less names. I love it. Or
yeah.
typically, but anyway, he
Mm.
was saying that it's like a water park. So imagine you're at a water park, right? And me and you
Mm.
are our souls, our higher selves, our souls are at the top of this slide. And we're like, all right, see you at the bottom. And when you go through the slide, when you go through this water slide and it's twists and turns and you go through tunnels and things like that, you forget that's what being born is. You forget
Oh
who you
gosh.
are and you forget that I was supposed to see you on the other side. But you don't, your soul never forgets. Like we forget, but our
Mhm.
soul never forgets. So when we come out through the other side and we come out into the bottom of the water slide and it's a pool, then we end up meeting each other again. We forgot, but we end up meeting each other. And he told me that analogy. I was like, bars.
That's
Bar. That is the bar of
yo.
life. And
I,
so
I'm
I haven't
like,
been. You said what?
if they could see me, I'm just over here like, clutching my pearls. Like
That's
that is
a
it.
bar. Because then when you meet, that's why I'm not even surprised when I meet people anymore. You were the biggest surprise as of late.
Mhm.
But now I'm kind of like, okay,
Yeah, this is light
keep
work.
keep the synchronicities coming because this is I'm meeting the people that I promised that I would meet at the top of the slide.
Mhm.
We're just meeting each
Yeah,
other. So
we're meeting. Oh my God. So that's how we got to the point in the conversation of how we met. Yo, it's so much I want to say. It's so much I want to
I
say to you.
know, I know. It's
We
like
will have the conversation. We will have the conversation.
I know, like
I,
O'Neal. Like, I wish you guys could see O'Neal's face because he wants to say so much because there's
there's
so much
much
design
I want to say,
of
but
life.
you know, yeah. Mm.
But we're gonna.
But
But you know what? I would say, this is why people are going to come to you for the
mm,
energy healings and readings because everything that you're
mhm.
not saying is too much to talk about. It's too much. It's beyond. You could talk
Oh
about
no,
it forever.
talk about
You could talk about
now.
it forever.
We can talk about it, but just not here.
Yeah. So,
Time for that.
go to this man's energy readings because he reads me for filth every time we talk.
Mhm.
But getting back to how we met. So I started at the top of the year. I got called to start something, a platform called the Abundance Academy. It was like
Mhm.
abundance was on my heart, and it was like 52 weeks of abundance. I want to see if I can make other people more abundant. And
Mhm.
uh, I got there because last year my stock portfolio just went through the roof. Like I was sitting here going on this healing journey and not working, not making any money. And I'm like, yo, universe, do your thing. I didn't even have to ask. And the universe ended up bringing like almost $200,000 worth of stock profits and gains
Mhm.
in 1 year. And I was like, yo, I'm like on this healing journey. I don't have to worry about money. This is such a beautiful thing. Thank you.
Ooh,
I was just so
yes.
grateful. I was so grateful.
So
And I
great.
said, I know there's other people out there that want to be freed from the shackles of
Mhm.
money and bad credit and all those things. So I started Abundance Academy. And I've also been doing my YouTube channel and doing this podcast because all these things were were like not
Mm.
what I wanted to do. It was me going to start the YouTube channel to put myself in front of a camera and talk is in 1000% opposition of the Elton that I thought I was.
Mhm.
And to use my voice to talk about something from the heart is in 1000% opposition of what I am. But I keep having to do these. I'm supposed to do them. I don't know
Mm.
why. And so I was supposed to start the Abundance Academy, and I saw this guy. There's over 500 members, and I saw this guy talking about pop up like so. His username used to be King O'Neill or King O, and I would
Mhm.
see King O pop up. I'm like, what does this man talk about? Because Discord is like a little chat room, and
Mhm.
I would see him. And then one day he talked about reprogramming his subconscious mind. I said, okay, we gonna talk. So I sent him a message on the side. I was like, yo, we need to talk. And then I was like, no, we need to FaceTime. Like we need to like really because you are my peoples. And I don't know why, like, but you are my
Mhm.
peoples. And the first FaceTime conversation was just you. I'll let you talk from here because
Oh my gosh. So on my end of it, right? It's so funny. We always talk about this. At the time, I was like, yo, I'm in the matrix, but I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get out. I'm like, yo, I can't down no more. I'm like, yo, this job killing my back. I'm going home. Like, yo, I can't do this. So I'm Googling like, yo, I'm not gonna say exactly how I said it, but I'm Googling like black men that quit their job and just went out and did whatever. Like I just wanted to see people like taking the risk that I knew I wanted to make. I knew that I could make it. I knew that I had the capacity and I knew God would catch me.
ooh,
But I wanted to do it. And I wanted to see like what it looked like. So here Elton, he all shirtless, fine on YouTube and shit. Making videos about living in Bali. I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and see what he's talking about. And then I see he has a Discord group, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm familiar with Discord. I joined that. Now I stocks. I'm like, yo, I'm good.
right.
At the
So we in the Discord group we talk about stocks and
time,
how to use them, but honestly, I don't care about no stocks. I don't.
but he said it. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I can say it because but it did grow me. Like it taught me a certain level of patience and discipline that I didn't expect to learn from it. So there was definitely learning to be had with stocks. Like it wasn't just a dry experience for me.
Yeah,
But in mhm,
no, good. And not to cut you off, but yeah,
yeah,
and if we're going to be a part, I mean, we all chose to come here. We all chose to be here. And if there's other vehicles for you to let your money work for you, because that's
mm,
honestly how it's supposed to be. Because money isn't real. Money is just energy. Money is not.
right,
Money is zeros and
right,
ones on in your computers and your bank accounts. Like that's not what you want. What you want is freedom. What you want is peace. What you want is love. What you want is security, and money represents that. And so
yes,
to have your money work for you through stocks, crypto, starting a business, whatever it is, whatever things we've agreed to, that's just a easy way, an easier way to exist because what I'm doing now, this conversation that I'm having with Oniel now, I would do this for free for the rest of my life. Like I would
yeah,
love to have these conversations that help people heal, that help people grow, that help people expand. And I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. My money
mhm.
can work though. My money, this isn't work. My money could be out there working. My money could be out there doing their things. Anyway, we keep digressing. So
I'm I'm just watching you like
you see me flowing, but we're not gonna. This is not what this is about. We're gonna get
I'm
to the
I
point.
the
So
red
we have
table
this
talk.
conversation, and there's just
Mhm.
so many things that are so connected between us. You know, he's telling me his story of always being tapped in from the age of 11, and his grandmother knowing when he was going to be born. He was born on Easter. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's a lot with that.
Yeah.
And I can imagine you having all that being born. And for me, I felt like I was a toddler in this journey. I feel like, again,
Mm.
I didn't have my awakening. It didn't start until 2019. I'm like, I can't even say that I have awakened to myself enough until like just this year.
Yo, it's interesting that you talk about 2019 because that I used to think that was the year that I woke up, but I realized I was always awake. But the thing about 2019 was it activated me in such a way that I couldn't turn back. Like
Mm.
it hit all the necessary spots of my subconscious, just my thought patterns, how I felt about myself, my deepest insecurities. It was like, we gonna talk, we gonna touch there, we gonna touch right there. Boop, you don't like that. Boop, we gonna touch it too. Because guess what? That's not who you are. Also, guess what? This shit ain't what you thought it was. So
That
what
is-
we gonna do? You know, it's not what you thought it was.
No, 2019 was a activation year for a lot of people. So many people
Mhm.
in the different ways. If people are, you know, the star seed light worker conversation, that's a whole other conversation.
Yo,
But
but we're having like, I need y'all to understand that we're having 5 different conversations.
five,
There's
105.
I'm sitting here. We have to let's come back to Earth, right? I have to come back to Earth with us real quick because our energy so like
Yeah, this is a lot.
we have
So
to.
let's go back to the conversation. So we're FaceTiming, and he
Mhm.
he found me, I guess, through the messages I was putting out through my YouTube channel, and he came to this Discord group, and that's where I found him. And so our first conversation, it was just so many things going on, and we talked about shrooms. So we talked about mushrooms. We were like, okay. He was like, yo, I had a psychotic break during the mushroom
Mhm.
trip. And I said, wait, tell me about it. So he told me about a psychotic break, and we may not be using the word psychotic break, right? So
Yeah,
let's be very. I want to be very careful with that. It was just it was a trip. We'll just say that.
it
We'll say it was
rich. Call
that
it
was
that.
a trip with like a hero dose, if that's what they typically.
Oh yeah, that is actually the terminology that the community uses, the hero dose.
Yeah.
It was such an extreme trip that touched me on an ancestral level, and
Ooh.
it touched on a psychological level to wake me up to like not just my fullest potential, but I saw my darkest fears play out. Like I saw fears that I didn't know that I had. And sometimes the fears that we have, it's not even us, it's just our ancestors. They need to heal through us. And I realized that was another part of me being here was the strength of the vessel, somebody that knows this world that can say, okay, here's our emotions, here's the deep levels of emotion and even Black people in mental health, like here's the misunderstood diagnosis that
Mm.
doctors, but I know you know what it is. So I'm going to show you the vision of what it's like to be me. And
Ooh.
I felt that and I experienced it and it was like I was on the bathroom floor like shot. Like I'm in that space now where I'm like
yeah, yeah.
complete utter shock and I faced my reality. I faced death itself. It shows you just how like and amidst all of this happening, like my body feels like it's falling apart. So I'm having like a like it's literally like the fabric of me was like falling apart. And that's the stuff that people need to know that shrooms are not necessarily a scary experience, but you have to be careful about what you're doing. You can't just be trying different shit because Sally Mae and them said that it's lit. You need to literally listen to yourself. Don't listen to us. Listen to yourself. Because I literally woke up that day and I made a smoothie. And I was like, oh, we gonna be lit. Smoothie. This is so cute. Nigga, I'm on the bathroom floor having a breakdown.
You going through it, and that is, and I think that's very important. I mean, it's really good to have a guide. Like I said, when I've served as a guide for people, I can't even understand how I'm serving as a guide. Like, to be honest, when I served as a guide, I've seen people in that fetal position. I've seen people in that thing, and it's honestly, it's beautiful. It is the most beautiful thing to me because I know what they're releasing. I know the the paradigms that are shifting. And you know, when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, that shit ain't easy. It's not pretty. It's not fun.
Not pretty.
It's
That's the
nothing. And but that's what you're going through. And that's what I love about shrooms is because they condense all of that healing that you need into like one trip. It's like you come out on the other side. It's like watching a caterpillar become a butterfly in 4 hours versus 4 weeks or 4 years or 40 4 decades. So anyway, yeah. So Oniel has shared that story with me, and I was like, yo, I had something very similar. Like I just saw the fabric of reality. And this wasn't even this hero dose that I did. I had done tons of shrooms before, but something that happened on this day, it was just like the deepest hero dose experience I could have ever experienced. And I'm not going to go deeper into it because that's a whole nother conversation. But it was super deep. It shattered a paradigm, another paradigm that I had. And so we're talking, and he was telling me like, yeah, because we the first time me and O'Neill talked was in February. And he was like, yeah, it was like it was like 3-4 weeks ago or something like that. I was like, wait, what's going on? I was like, what date though? Because mine was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I knew mine was January 17th because I was in DC, and I knew it was January 17th. And he was like, well, let me see. I sent a text message to my friend when I was going through it, and we had the exact same hero dose shroom episode, like psychotic break, consciousness level raising paradigm shift on the exact same day on January 17th. And I was like, whoa. Like, wow. Like that is a coincidence. That's not, you're not about to play. That's not a coincidence.
You cannot play with this.
We're not playing with that. That's not a coincidence. Yeah. And then the more we talk, we realize that we both have LOVE tatted on our knuckles. Like we both have love tatted on our knuckles. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, oh dear, did you have love tatted on your knuckles? Because I randomly just got this tattoo last July after another trip. But so anyway, it was like, yo, this is what we said at the top of the slide. We had to go at the top of the slide and be like, I'm gonna meet you in this lifetime. And like, okay, cool. And this is how we met. This is it. All these things had to happen for us to meet. I had to go on this healing journey. I had to be called to try shrooms. I had to let go of all these identities. Oniel had to go through what he went through, had to reconcile all these different emotions and get past the depression and anxiety or whatever to get to us just having this conversation and for us to meet again.
It's blowing my mind. Like in the background, I know they're hearing just me go, I'm just like, spit them facts. Like
you sit there with your, oh, that's so funny because you got all your glasses, you got your new, you just got dread, he just got locked, he just locked his hair up today. So he just sitting there looking like Miss Seeley, like,
All right. I'm looking crazy. And I'm just like, I'm so free though. Like I'm so free. And our meeting is just Like it feels like I didn't live all that life to meet you. Like it feels like I lived this whole life and I closed that chapter, but what is really closing a chapter? Like people think about closing chapters, but when I close the last chapter of my life, it literally feels like an old life. Like I don't understand how it even existed there. Like it's a timeline that I literally don't live on. Like when you timeline jump, and we can go there real quick, just real quick. When you timeline jump, like I even saw it in my house. Like there's things that look different in your reality. Like that jacket has like a different symbol on it, and you're like, I don't remember that symbol. I know for a fact I didn't see that shit. And there was literally like space in the floor of like the wood. What is the things? What is that wood in your house called? I guess just flooring. I don't know. The wood floor.
Cedar? I don't know.
In between like the wood boards, and I don't remember that. And I was like, yo, I reprogrammed my brain. I started doing shrooms. And at this point, I have locks. Like at this particular point, I have locks, and I'm picking up on so much energy right now. Like,
oh, are locks
and I'm just
antennas?
like,
Are locks like are they what's the thing behind locks? Are they meant to be antennas for consciousness?
they speak to me. Like my locks be speaking to me. Like even when I put my hair in 2-strand twist, like I would just be like going throughout my day, and I'd be like, I just want to put my hair in twist. Like that's what happened. The day
a whole lock episode. We need to have a whole episode about people with locks, because this is
yes,
yeah, that's deep. Like, and
he
literally got his hair locked today.
2 days.
as we're doing this conversation, which is
like my head is tight right now.
Which is another coincidence. Well, I wanna bring it back though. I want to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring it back because honestly, you know, this episode isn't to try to convince nobody to try no shrooms. It's not to I don't sell you on some shroom services. We ain't doing none of that.
No.
It is honestly, I know that January 17th happened, and us giving these love tattoos happened, and me starting Abundance Academy, and me being a Black man traveling throughout the world, and you being able to see some of yourself in me, and me seeing some of myself in you. All these things are happening for us to have this conversation, and something in this conversation is going to help somebody who needed a sign, who needed whatever it is. So this is our service. This is our service. And I mean, since that initial conversation, me and Oniel talk, it's literally like I am about to be 40 years old. This young man is about to be 23, and me and him talk like we've been knowing each other since 1962. Like
what?
that's how we talk. Like I have known you since 1962, and
Easy.
it's as easy as it is talking to myself. Like literally,
literally, I'm talking.
And we've never met in real life. Never even no. And for me, what I'm seeing is that this is insane. And it didn't just come from the shrooms. Again, like I said, shrooms are just a vehicle, but it came from a knowing of this beautiful design, of this beautiful symphony. I always call life and our existence and our reality a symphony. It's in a symphony you need the everything from the bass guitars and the drums and even the triangle is just as important. Like even that little triangle, everything is so important, and that's what life is. That's what I'm saying. The mosquitoes are important. Everything is so important to this design, to this symphony, to this fabric of what we have. And so as we go on these alleged trips and build deeper in between our connection and just explore like our connection deeper, I just love it. I think it's just so beautiful, and I'm so excited to see where it goes, because I At 22 years old, I would never. What are you talking? Like nothing I'm doing today, I would have ever done at 22. Like
This is wild.
never, none of the bit of knowledge or anything that I had going on at 22 could even compare to where you are on understanding this. And I just look at you.
My brain can't grasp. The thing about it is like when people say that, I'm just like, whenever you say that to me, I'm like, okay, I'm 22 years old. But it's like I'm me, so I'm like, I know what I know. So I'm just kind of like, I think this is beautiful because I'm not necessarily shy, but I can be very like, to myself, like in the past. So for me, this is a very interesting experience. Like I've never shared such an intimate, like we're discovering each other, like just right now. Like
Yeah, this is like live. I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you, I had about 8 epiphanies just in the first 20 minutes of this podcast.
I can't pretend like this isn't blowing my mind. Like I know I always pause. I'll be like, all right, stop. We got to talk about, because I'm just so, one thing I want people to take away from this is like, I came home to myself, yo. Like silliness aside, jokes aside, like I came home, like I did the work. I really sat with myself. Like I wasn't just like thinking about, oh, this is spiritual and this is cool. I was facing my deepest emotions every day for years of my life. When my family didn't get it, when my friends didn't get it, I was going through a deep transformation. And what it really boils down to for me is like, you can say what you want about, oh, this is that spiritual mumbo jumbo or whatever. But I reprogrammed my brain after physical trauma, years of trauma and just BS. I reprogrammed my brain to say, but I'm alive and life is good. Like when we were doing the test recordings for this podcast, he was like, just say something. I'm like, I'm so happy. Like life is good. Like I'm literally wired that way. And the thing about that is that's what your soul wants you to know. So you can say what you want about, thinking positive and but I've been through the dark. And even when I do inevitably go through the dark, I am the light. Like I found the light in myself. I am literally the light itself. And I'm like, okay, it's time to share. That's why we have moments like this. That's why this is so intense. That's why I'm speaking to you like
you can't even see I'm crying. Like I'm literally in tears. I'm in tears because
like
I know you want the people to feel this. That's the thing. You want our listeners to feel this, and they'll feel it. They'll feel it. I know where you are. I know what you're saying, and
As your big brother, because I got to the earth first. Uh, I'm just saying, like, people are gonna know it, and they're gonna, as you go on your journey, as you share your journey, people are gonna feel it. People are gonna understand it without you even saying it. Sometimes, a lot of times, because that's what the energy is. And um, when I went on that trip on January 17th, I haven't really shared this with like a lot of people. I don't know if I shared this with you, but it was really, really deep. And my my partner, he had a tear in his eye. He had saw the whole thing. He was there.
you did this. I remember.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't leave," and I was like, "Wait, what? What is he talking about?" And it was the like I had never even seen him cry before, and he's not a crier. He's not even into this meditation. He ain't never meditated. He's not into any of these things. And he was like, "Don't leave." And he saw that kind of what's inside of you in terms of you're so connected to your spiritual self, you're so connected to your higher self, you're so connected to this, the greater illusion, not an illusion, but you're so connected to the greater truth, because this reality is illusion. Like, we supposed to, it was a meme the other day that was like, we supposed to sit here on this rock, on this, imagine being, coming down to earth to pay bills and have a credit score. Why would you imagine coming to earth to have a damn credit score and to pay a bill? Like, that's not what life is about. I think the purpose of life is honestly to create heaven on earth. That is our purpose here. It's not to suffer and then get to heaven. It's to create heaven on earth for yourself and everybody else. And that's what these episodes are going to be. I want to give and share a little piece of the heaven that I'm being able to create. And it's beautiful because I'm in Bali, right? Bali is definitely the most beautiful place I've ever been. The most beautiful place I've ever lived. And I talked about this in another episode of, people were saying it must be nice, it must be all these things. And I'm just living in a reflection of who I am internally. That's it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing anything. I had to find it within myself. I had to, like you said, I had to come back home to myself. And because of that, my 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 environment matches how I feel on the inside. And that's all it is. And that is
Like,
creating heaven on earth. That's creating heaven on earth. All you do is you create heaven within yourself. If you have wars going on within yourself, we all have wars and battles. Just in the wars, and give yourself peace, give yourself surrender, and your environment, your outside will look like you want it to be. It will just match the inside. And so I'm here in Bali. I love my life so much. I love every day I get to just touch the ground and touch the water and sip a coconut. I'm able to do that because my exterior matches my insides. I created the heaven I wanted on earth. And that's just it. That's why we're here. That's the purpose. And I'm going to continue to share that with each and every one of you. And I'm so blessed to have Oniel. I'm so blessed that we found each other. I'm so blessed. Happy.
So much. I love you
so happy
so
that you found me, bro. I'm so happy you found me.
Like, it's just, I'm honestly just bawling, crying, because when you know what it took to get there, though, like the cost, the emotional and the spiritual cost of living heaven, it's like you literally have to be ready to let go of your entire life. As you know, like, and it's still happening though. And I think that's why it's so deep, and I feel so hit, is because it's like I'm still letting him go. I'm still letting my old self go. Like, I'm still embodying my higher self. Like, I'm still healing. But my life is amazing. So I'm like in even the story of how, and I know we're wrapping this up, but even the story of how, like, I became a full-time healer and I named my work is because, like, one day I was like, I just want to live today like my best day. Like, you posted that and I was like, I'm going to live today like my best day. And I called out from my job. I go in the day and they fired me, and it was like, yeah, we're not in alignment anymore. And I'm, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, it was like, this is crazy. And amidst that, it's like I'm meeting incredible people, and like I'm gaining clients from my readings, because it's like you don't have to beg for your dreams. And that's something that I'm realizing as we speak. Like, you don't have to fight for your dreams. You don't have to beg for God to give you what's yours. It's already yours. That's why I say it so hard because I think I'm reminding myself that you don't have to fight anymore. You fought to get here. Like you literally fought to get
The war is over. That's
the
the whole
war.
point. The war
Like
is
I'm
over.
on like, yo, like I'm ready to square up. And I'm like, yo, okay, calm down. Like, you're good. You're good, bro. Like you're good. Like people aren't fucking with you. People aren't like you're good. You know how to regulate your emotions. You know how to raise your vibration. You've healed. Like now it's time to catch up to you. And I just hope that everybody listening to this, like this was this conversation, I think we knew it would be this, but it was such a healing and rejuvenating conversation for me. And I can see it just in Elton's face, like, and just how much we know each other now, just psychically know each other. I hope that you, listening to this, you know that home is exactly where you are and you don't have to fight. Like you are so safe. Like you're beautiful enough. You have when we say you have everything you need, that's literally you. Like you are everything. You are the everything. Like how does it feel to know that you're everything? How does it feel to know that you're safe? How does it feel to know that God loves you unconditionally and that you're one with that same God and that love is not separate from you? Like, how does that feel? And when you've been through the dark initiation to get to the dream life, to share the codes with your soul family, you just know, yo, like,
Yeah,
I'm so, I love you guys so much. I just love this. I love life. I love.
Yo, it's amazing. I think that was the perfect way to end it. I mean, that's what I told you. This whole week was surrender for me. The theme of this week was surrender. And when you end the wars within yourself, when you when you stop fighting yourself, because that's all it is. Like toxic behavior, gossip and jealousy, blah 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 blah. All these things is literally wars within yourself that you're fighting. And so when you decide to surrender to yourself and surrender the war and wave the white flag, that's when you get peace. That's what surrender is. It's stopping the war within yourself and you get the peace, you get the freedom, and you get the the bliss of having your outer reality match your inner reality. So that is it. Well, that is my computer's about to die. And I try to put a cap on these episodes because again, there will always be room for more. And there's always room for Oniel, and there's always room for each and every one of you that is listening. Um, so Oniel, as we head out, any you want to tell the people where they can find you?
Oh yes, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Oniel Roll with one L. So it's ONIELROL. That's always how I say it in my YouTube videos. And I'm a writer. I love sharing my heart, and honestly, my career is just being me. Like it's literally just me being myself and taking people on this journey with me of just love and harmony and unity and discovery. So that's where you can find me. You can find me on YouTube too. Like R.
I love it. I love it. I'll put your info in the show notes. Well, yo, thank you all for listening. This was another healing moment for myself as well. So, with that, I wish you all peace and love, and thank you so much for listening. Peace.
Oh my gosh.